Hi all, today we have an exciting interview with Oladapo to talk about his experience getting into software testing, why 100% test coverage isn't possible, and other topics. Hi Oladapo, how are you doing?
Well, I'm pretty fine. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on.
Yeah.
So, first question, how did you get into software testing and quality assurance?
Well, I'll say the path to software testing and quality assurance actually wasn't a straight one. I started off as an accountant, then also in project finance, but yeah. So I would say both roles basically, it's just about paying attention to details, finance, figures basically. Then, yeah, I wanted something more. Then quality assurance just came up. I'm like, yeah, I have some qualities, pay attention to details. So there was just a sync, and I was like, yeah, why not if not? So I took the trainings, I did some study personally and the likes. Then also I did the exams, did certifications, and that just prepped me for the first job. Yeah, basically. Mhm.
That's great. It's a very unique path. I know a lot of people come from different places. I don't know how many I've heard come from accounting, but yeah, you're definitely right with that. That attention to detail thing really comes into play in both areas.
Very true. Very true.
So you recently wrote a great article about why 100% test coverage is not possible and some lessons you've learned. As an
Hmm.
experienced tester, can you share some other key lessons or tips that you wish you had known as a new tester or that can help new testers?
Okay, I think the first one is the more the test you actually have, your test suite doesn't actually translate to having an 100% coverage. So earlier on in my career, I thought probably if I had more automation tests, then I have this confidence. But the article I actually wrote came from a direct place of experience. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that confidence in the system doesn't come from the test numbers, like I actually mentioned. It comes from understanding the risks. So basically, like give an example of a car. If the car doesn't have fuel, yeah, it's just not it's not going to work. But if the car lacks the oil in the engine, it's going to break the engine basically. So you understand the risks of what you're actually testing. So that's where the systematic testing actually comes in. Then also, I believe that if as I was working also in with a banking application, then also in the healthcare, I also noticed that I had to pay attention to the little details because in the banking sector, if something happens to let's say the login functionality, I mean that could actually cost the company so much. Data protections also. So yeah, I would say it's just pay attention to the IRIX impact that can actually cause impact to the organization. Ensure those are properly covered with automations with manual testing. Then you could also start adding some other blocks, and I think you should have the confidence in the system as a whole, basically.
Yeah, I like that analogy you make with the car, talking about
Exactly.
if it has no fuel, it's not going to run. If you have no oil, it's literally going to break the engine. I think that's a
Exactly.
great way to look at it. So
Exactly.
you mentioned your impressive experience in the banking and healthcare sectors and testing, and
Hmm.
I'm not really surprised you're ISTQB certified, as those
Hmm.
industries seem to really prioritize people that are ISTQB certified. So do you find that those industries are more demanding in their testing needs?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for the banking and the healthcare system, the demand is on a different level. Basically, it actually also needs extra attention to little details. In this environment, defects are not just inconveniences; they can actually affect financial trust, compliance also, and probably also for the company also. So one key thing I've learned is that coverage metrics doesn't measure consequences. Yes,
Mhm.
you can have thousands of passing tests and still miss the single eye risk scenario that causes significant issues. So yes, so in this industry, I would say it would naturally push you towards risk-based testing. You prioritize core business logic, security, data integration, and things like that. So yeah, so basically, I would say this sector actually kept me on my toes. You just have to be in your A game. So while I'm testing in my mind. Oh, did I cover this? Did I cover this? Yeah. So basically,
Mhm.
so yeah, risk-based testing is the way to go. Yes.
I think it's a really good point to, prioritize the risk-based testing because, yeah, I can't even imagine the things that could really unravel in the banking sector if you're to miss one key test.
Very true. Very true. Very very true.
So, going back to the ISTQB certification, would you say that being ISTQB certified has helped you in your career? And also, piggybacking on that, you've got an ISTQB Foundation level. Have you considered any other certifications that would help you in your day-to-day job?
Yeah, the certification helped me to build a strong foundation. There are so many things I thought I knew. Then studying for the exams, oh yeah, I didn't just know this. So I think it really, yeah, basically. So yeah, it took me from a level, let's say 10 to like 100, basically. So yeah, I would say it actually, it shaped me, thoroughly, which yeah, I would, yeah, at least made me a better tester. And some job roles I actually got was because I have the certification. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's actually a plus. So beyond the certification itself, it reinforces discipline actually in how I approach testing. From test design techniques, I actually learned to risk analysis and quality planning. It's formalized practice, and I had it formalized the practice I already had before, but I had going for the certification actually made it more structured. And the next question is, will I be taking another one? Yes, I've started learning also. The world has actually moved to AI. Everything is AI, So I saw that we have the AI testing certification also. So yeah, I'm preparing for that. I also want to leverage on what I already know to actually probably with the AI knowledge, it's just going to give me an in-depth the way to do things faster also, to see what I don't see, AI is here to stay. So yeah, I think that's it's going to be at this stage of my career, my focus is to just shift towards that direction. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's a great point. The world is definitely shifting towards AI, and you do see a lot of people getting those ISTQB AI testing certifications, help
Very true.
expand their career. You've kind of already touched on this, but would you recommend other testers get ISTQB certified? And do you think it will give them more options in their career? You mentioned how it's helped you get jobs. But do you think it'll help in their careers getting jobs and especially, demanding fields like you've mentioned in healthcare and banking?
Yeah, I think I would say, we could actually learn ourselves, but there's the structured way to learn in which ISTQB certification will actually give to you. There's a foundation level a baby needs milk basically, and as you grow, you need solid food. So I think that's what the ISTQB certifications will actually do. They actually gradually build it up. And things you think you know, you discover, oh, you don't really know, basically. So yeah, I think it's a very structured, certification that would actually help you as a person, not just
Mhm.
the jobs, but definitely. And there's this command of respect you also get when you have the certification. Hey, is a certified tester. So definitely I would recommend that. So if I have a friend that's learned, quality assurance for like 2 or 3 years, why not just put everything to a structured way and get certified? And so yeah, it's definitely something I would recommend. And I have recommended friends already. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's great. Do you have any last thoughts you'd like to share with the testers that are listening?
Oh yeah, I would say when it's testing enough, I don't think testing can actually be enough. But for me, testing is enough when I have covered what the requirement actually entails. So if the
Mhm.
requirement is 2 plus 2 is 4, I check 2, I check the next 2, I check 4. Testing is enough. After deploy, can I go back to retest? Definitely. But yeah, it's impossible for testing to be enough. But when testing is enough is when we've tested, covering the requirement. I think QA testers can actually rest at that point, because we always have that thing. Did I test enough? Did I test enough?
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
definitely, yeah. So yeah.
I think it's a good last point to leave on so that people, yeah, can get their rest knowing that they did test enough. So thank you so much for your time today, Oladapo.
All right. Thank you so much also for having me. It's such an honor. Thank you so much for having me today. Yeah.